Hello, I'm Brandy Hadfield, and I am a health and wellness ambassador with the Juice Plus company, and I am a lifetime certified Dr. Sears family health and nutrition coach. I am the creator of the Dream Method for Healthy Family Sleep, president of Attachment Parenting Canada, and a mom of 2 boys that I homeschool. And today I wanted to talk to you a bit about Juice Plus and the cost factor for those who feel that Juice Plus might be cost prohibitive. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about my health journey and my wealth journey and share some thoughts and some epiphanies that I've come across over the last little while. So I'm just going to share my screen. So I have to, first of all, thank my friend Julie, who introduced me to this book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. I'm listening to it right now on audio, and it's awesome. I highly recommend it to everyone and anyone who is looking at attracting more money into their life. And one of the things that I learned about was some of the unconscious language that we use. And there's some great exercises in that book about the deservability factor, how much we feel we deserve or don't deserve money, the limiting beliefs that we carry, and even negative connotations that we might have around people who are wealthy. And what's really interesting, I've known this for a while, is our fear and our comfort at where we are. It's almost like we're afraid to take the leap to the next stage. And where that fear comes from, I'm not sure yet. But it's really interesting to take a look at those things, face them head on, and then try to continue on your wealth journey, which is what I'm doing. But one thing that has occurred to me recently was that my health was worth it. And I'll share a bit about my health story. I've always been really interested in health and nutrition. And I worked at a fitness club for almost a decade. And I remember seeing a naturopathic doctor and her saying that that basically my body was taking a lot of damage, that I was working out really hard. And even though I really felt that I ate well, I wasn't eating enough to combat all of the oxidative stress that was just wreaking havoc on my body. So because I didn't really have any concerns with my appearance at the time, and I felt pretty good, this was before kids, I didn't really pay too much attention to what some of her recommendations were, and I continued on my journey. And then I became a parent, and I started to become, when I got pregnant, I started to take nutrition even more seriously. And then I decided that I wanted to work from home. So I started looking at ways I could do that. And I was looking at teaching workshops and seminars and taking clients and so on, but I wanted to have a product that I could also endorse and share with my clients, because if somebody takes a workshop with me, they can only take that workshop once. So I wanted to be able to have something that I could offer them over a long period of time. And so I began looking and shopping around at what products I could potentially offer, and that's when I came across Juice Plus. So nobody knocked on my door and asked me to represent Juice Plus. It was something that I looked for, found, and asked, can I please be a part of this? So I started taking it. I loved it. I started my baby on it as soon as he began solids, and everything was going well. I felt great. I was happy, and I was pursuing the Juice Plus business, and we were raving fans at home. Then let's fast forward 4.5 years later, I got pregnant with my second, and I was still taking Juice Plus. I stepped back from the business side of things because we had just moved. There's a lot of upheaval in my life. Then my second was born, and a few months after he was born, I stopped taking Juice Plus. And I didn't start my second on it when he began solids. And our whole family's health started to slowly go downhill. from behavioral issues to our own affinity for fast food. And yeah, we were just, I was getting, as 2 years progressed, I started to get a lot of inflammation and what ended up being a situation with parasites and leaky gut. And I went to a naturopathic doctor who was really able to help me heal a lot. And then I ended up having an issue with, we realized that I have a histamine intolerance, and I've always had really bad allergies. So long story short, after a lot of suffering from this histamine intolerance, I decided to give Juice Plus a try. And again, nobody came knocking on my door. Nobody approached me at all. It was just a calling from within that I thought, let's just see what happens. I've tried everything else. Let's just see what happens. So I got the Juice Plus. The day that it arrived, I took it, and it immediately worked in my body to reduce the rash and insane itching reaction that I was getting from this histamine intolerance. And that's not all Juice Plus is good for. I'll explain all of the studies behind Juice Plus and what it's proven to do in our bodies, but that was my big wake-up call that I realized, okay, this is definitely worth it. It might as well be my prescription. I got my whole family back on it, and we are lifers, and no matter what, we're making it happen because we need it. And now I know, I knew with studies and research, but now I know beyond a shadow of a doubt what it does in my body. I mean, there's a lot of things it's doing that I'm not aware of, but what I know is that I can't eat anything with histamines in it if I'm not taking my Juice Plus. So we look at our cars and our housing as non-negotiables. And a lot of times we even spend beyond what maybe is responsible in order to obtain a certain lifestyle or a certain car or whatever, which is all personal choices. But what I'm saying is that our physical vehicle, our physical home has to be first and foremost. If you're feeling like the $100 a month that it would cost to get all 3 of the Juice Plus fruit and vegetables in a capsule, the berries, the orchard, and the garden blends, just think for a second all of the ways that you are already spending $100 a month. And this isn't, what I'm saying isn't going to be the case for every single person out there, but just for many of us, from what I've observed, we're all, for example, paying exorbitant cell phone bills. And a lot of this we could negotiate, and that's something that I've recently done because, as I said, I'm still on my wealth journey, and I was unconscious about these bills that were coming in and data. I wasn't paying attention to it, and I was just paying these crazy bills. And so a lot of times we can really be conscious of what this is and make a change to what we're paying and be more aware and advocate for ourselves as consumers. So that's one area. Another area is all of the prescriptions and other supplements that we may be taking that we don't know for 100% sure they're bioavailable, proven to be safe, what they're doing in our body, other harmful effects that may occur, these kinds of things. Not to say that these are negotiable. Sometimes they're not negotiable, and there's certain things that you need to be taking, but that is another cost factor to be considered. I know there are definitely times when I was easily spending hundreds of dollars on various supplements, and I can't say for sure that they were all helping me. And I didn't even know about things like the NPI or NSF certification to prove that they're safe, or that Olympic athletes can take them. I didn't even know about looking for that as a consumer. Another thing is takeout. So every Friday I buy sushi for me and my boys. It's like our Friday treat, and I spend about $35 on our sushi dinner, and that adds up to $140 a month. I'm just spending unconsciously, really. I mean, it is a nice treat, but if it's at a point where it's going to be sushi or Juice Plus, it's definitely going to be Juice Plus for us. Alcohol is another one. My husband and I, when our health was on the decline, one of the things that was non-negotiable that we always found money for was beer and wine. And so that's over $100 that we're spending on a monthly basis to support that habit, which is really, honestly, putting toxins into our bodies instead of investing in our health. Not to say that a glass of wine isn't lovely now and then, but again, when you're looking at where we're spending our money and being conscious and aware, the choices that we can make, the choices that we have the power to make. Our coffee is another one. I know many people who buy coffee out every day, sometimes multiple times a day. So if you're spending $5 a day, you're getting 2 cheap coffees or 1 latte a day, then you're spending $150 a month unconsciously. And I actually read an article about the 25 ways that we waste money, and it's fascinating to look at all of the ways, all of these little things that add up, and all these things that are nonsense that we don't even need, like dryer sheets. Don't even need them. And there's lots of things like that that we put a value on, and there are habits that we're comfortable with that actually do nothing for us at all. You know, like how much do you spend on, you know, condiments? These kinds of things. I was thinking about like butter. You know, I love butter, but if I had to choose between Juice Plus or butter, I'm going to choose Juice Plus. How much we're throwing away. I'm really great at this now. Barely anything gets thrown in the garbage anymore. Everything, all of the fruits and vegetables and meat that I'm buying, we are eating. And it's really neat to see my refrigerator now. It's not jam-packed like it used to be. It's very conscious. Everything that's in there is fresh and that we're going to be eating. And but several years ago, easily every week I would throw out bags full of wasted food. So how much money does that add up to? And then, you know, looking at if you are really healthy and you do recognize the value of how we're requiring now 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables on a day, or some people say 10 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. It's the only thing that everyone can agree on that we require, because we need these antioxidants, we need these phytonutrients, even if you're one of the few that juices on a regular basis. Or if you're considering that might be something that you want to do. I did the numbers on that, and that adds up to about $150 a month. And for me, it's the mess and the time and all of that involved that I'm just not doing it. So what is Juice Plus? I said that it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And then that's what the bottles there are. And then we have the complete. So the Juice Plus fruits and vegetables in a capsule, Orchard Garden and Vineyard, they are your phytonutrients or your micronutrients. And then the complete is something else that we have, which is your macronutrients. So that's where you can get some great clean protein and fiber. And you know that it's non-GMO, you know that it's dairy and gluten-free. And with Juice Plus, we have over 35 published clinical studies. So it's actually the most thoroughly researched supplement in the entire world. Like that in and of itself is just awesome. I just have to say it one more time, the most thoroughly researched supplement in the entire world. And so it includes 30 whole foods. So you would use it just as your kind of your health insurance policy. It's like instead of if you're used to taking a multivitamin, this is what you would take. This is what you would take while you're pregnant. This is what you would take when you're in your postnatal period and you're recovering. This is what your babies take when they're starting solids. This is what you take for the rest of your life, really. It's safe because it's food, and our bodies know what to do with food, and our bodies know how to take the vitamins and minerals from food. And when they're in food, they're working in harmony together so that they're able to do their job, so you don't pee it out. You take Juice Plus, you won't get an upset stomach, and you won't be having that bright yellow pee from peeing out extra, because our bodies actually use it, and it's so awesome. Something else that we have is the tower garden. So if you are throwing out a lot of your produce, it's something to consider because there is a payment plan available at $50 a month, and you can have, you don't even have to worry about taking care of it because it just plugs in and waters itself, like no maintenance. I remember going on vacation with our tower garden and coming back and how bountiful it was and being able to eat kale right off of it. And it's like, if your toddler doesn't eat kale, they will eat kale off the tower garden. It's so cool how kids love to get involved in growing their own food. And once they're involved in growing their own food, they're so much more likely to eat it. And pesticide free and clean, and you don't have to wash it. Like, just an awesome way to save money on your produce bill and get your kids involved. So I was talking about the phytonutrients and how it differs from, like, if you look at a vitamin label versus if there was a label printed on an apple, the hundreds of ingredients it would have to have on it, because that's the beauty of nature and they all work together. So I was thinking, if somebody thinks that $100 a month isn't worth it for Juice Plus, and yet unconsciously spending $100 in all these different places, I believe that everybody wants to live well and live a long time and not get sick. And I believe that everybody wants that for their family. So the only conclusion that I could come to if somebody didn't want to get Juice Plus due to cost would be because they either don't see a need for it, they just don't think we require Juice Plus, or they don't believe that it works, so they don't see the value in it, or 3, they're just comfortable where they're at and they're just not ready to take that leap and see what could possibly happen if they started incorporating it into their life and their family's life. So to address whether or not we need it, so I'll ask you, if life is as simple as it used to be for you, like where we used to grow our own food, like how many of us grew up and there was a garden that we were accessing? You don't see that as much anymore. Playing outside, we just don't play outside as much as we do anymore. We're inside. Our water, we have to question the cleanliness of that, and how much sleep are we getting, and is our sleep as restorative as it used to be back when there just wasn't so much overstimulation going on? So no, we aren't eating pure from our gardens, many of us, and fast food is so much more accessible and so cheap. And the even, like, I was talking to my mother about when she would go to a burger restaurant and get a burger and fries back when she was a kid, it was totally different than what we're getting now, like quantity and quality. We are spending a lot more time inside in our homes, so we're not getting the fresh air that we used to get, and people are drinking these energy drinks and all of these other things instead of pure water, and we are just so busy, so stressed out as a society, and we're not getting the restorative sleep that we need. And in the environment, the toxins are increasing in our environment, we know that, and in our food the toxins are increasing, the quality is decreasing, and we have all of these pesticides and trans fats and preservatives that just didn't exist before. I just have to pause. My little Bobo needed mama, so I had to pause the recording. So I'm going to now put my slides back up. Okay. So in terms of our health, You know, we've got all these toxins in the environment, all these toxins in our food. The only way to deal with that is with antioxidants and detoxifying. Dr. Bruce Ames from the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences Center is quoted as saying, in each human cell, the DNA is hit about 10,000 times a day by mutagenic oxidants. So that's kind of like, if, you know, the aging process is oxidization, just like an apple when it's oxidizing. So we also know that the produce that we eat today packs a less nutritional punch. So what's happening is that, you know, we have to think about our growing season. And if you're watching and you're in Canada, you know that our growing season is quite short. In some places in Canada, really, really short. So we have this short growing season. So what that means is we have to get our produce imported in a lot of times. Some people are pretty good at eating locally, but then they're not able to have the variety, the rainbow variety every single day. So there's definitely a need there. And so we're getting this produce shipped in, and so it's picked prematurely and forced to ripen on the truck on the way here. But the problem with that is that most of the nutrients go into food at the last stage of ripening on the vine or on the plant. So it's not getting that same nutrition when it's ripening on the truck. So while we still need fruits and vegetables for some phytonutrients and for the macronutrients, we need something to bridge that gap between the amount of antioxidants that were required for the world that we're living in and the lifestyle that we're living in. So I mentioned that Juice Plus is the most researched nutritional product in the world and optimizes health, wealth, and performance at any level. So I can't. So these are all of the medical journals that go into all of the wonderful things that Juice Plus is proven to do in our bodies, such as improve cardiovascular wellness, supporting the immune system. So that's where it helped me with my response to histamines and my allergies. It improves gum tissue, and I saw that firsthand with my firstborn when he had to have surgery. And it reduces oxidative stress, reduces inflammation, which is something that is fantastic for me because I was very inflamed and having joint pain and all kinds of other symptoms, restless leg syndrome, all these things. Autoimmune disorders are crazy right now, and they didn't used to be that way years ago. And now we're seeing all of these things popping up. It's because of the toxicity that I talked about. Juice Plus is proven to protect DNA and proven to make skin healthier, helping with insulin resistance. There's a study with boys, I believe ages 7 to 10, and it shows that it improved their abdominal fat mass, which is amazing. It's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, and it helped these boys who were obese. Quality of life and lung health. And then there's the children's health study. So Juice Plus is the only company that provides a study like this that gives Juice Plus for free to children who are sponsored by an adult in their life. So if you decided that your health was worth it, you would be able to sponsor a child in your life to be able to take Juice Plus for free, and they could be even in college or university, and they could take Juice Plus for free for up to 4 years as long as you're sponsoring them. And these are the things that they found out, that 56% were taking fewer over-the-counter and prescription drugs, missing fewer days of school, eating more fruits and vegetables, and that's something that I see with my firstborn who was on Juice Plus from the time that he was an infant. Visiting the doctor less. Like, we have a joke that we have a Juice Plus cold, because when somebody's on Juice Plus for a long time and they get sick, it's a totally different thing than someone who's not on Juice Plus. The recovery time is much faster. Drinking more water. These children are more aware of their health, and 96% were reaping some positive benefit. So in regards to whether or not Juice Plus is worth it, there's more to just all of the research that I shared. And I'm just going to show you, we have resources. We have the Healthy Living Revolution website where you can get a packet for your kids called the Start Strong Kids Challenge, where they can participate in different healthy living challenges and actually get certificates. There's cookbooks and awesome webinars, and we do all kinds of amazing events like the one I went to yesterday all about gut health and the microbiome. And all of these things are free for our health club. Like when you are part of Juice Plus, you're part of a community. So that's a whole other, I guess, maybe a benefit that some people aren't seeing. But even if it wasn't for that, I mean, reducing inflammation, improving my immunity, protecting my DNA, like all of these things, and protecting the health of my children and allowing me to be the mom that I want to be is well worth $100 a month, and definitely more. There's this cool thing called the Charity Miles that you can take part in if you want to give to charity. What Juice Plus does is you can download this app onto your phone, and when you walk or run, they will donate to a charity that you get to choose. So just by being fit, or by taking care of your fitness, you can actually help out and do something with a charity that matters to you. I just found out about that yesterday, and it's amazing. We have the Shred 10 program where you get support and encouragement to kind of get a jump start on your health if you're needing to make some changes. So these are all just things that are just given for anybody that's part of the Juice Plus community. So I guess, if you're not seeing a need, I talked about that. There's definitely a need for Juice Plus, and there's not anything else out there that compares, because while there might be other whole food supplements, they don't have the research behind them. And if they're sitting on a store shelf, then they're not raw food, because you can't have raw food on a store shelf for 2 years. So if you don't believe it works, well, we know that it does, because there are 30 peer-reviewed gold standard studies that prove that it gets into our bloodstream, and incredible things that are happening as it does. And so the third was just being comfortable where you're at. So that's maybe where you can challenge yourself. Is there a big leap that you need to take, and how can you make that comfortable for yourself? So I guess in conclusion, I would want to say to consider the cost of not making a change. For me, I know that I was on that slippery slope, and I'm so glad that I woke up. Nobody came to me and said, you need to do something. It came from within. I just woke up. There was no major pivotal moment. It was just all of a sudden I thought, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? Is it going to have to take a doctor telling me that I've got, certain label of disease before I make a change? Or am I going to recognize that my check engine light is going on and I need to heal from inside out and not put just a cream on whatever's going on? So what would be the cost of not taking any action on the fact, the state of our food quality, on the state of our environment? What would be the cost of not taking any action on that? And what would be the cost of not considering a need to detoxify and to increase your antioxidants when we're continually loading ourselves with toxins? So what if you tried it? What would be the absolute worst thing that could happen? What could be the potential benefit? I mean, if I can't even fathom what a benefit not occurring that would be tremendous, that would make you want to continue on, or that would be obvious. And my name would be Mud. So many world-renowned doctors' names would be Mud if we were sending this message and it wasn't absolutely 1,000% authentic. And why would I be driven to even create this message today, right? I can't do anything in my life if I'm not passionate about it. That's why I created the career that I created, is because I'm passionate about families, about babies, about psychology. and I've always been passionate about health and nutrition. And this is the vehicle that I recognize. Juice Plus is the vehicle that I recognize to make it easy for myself and my family, and to help and impact as many people as I can. So I hope that you hear my heart, and that you ask yourself these uncomfortable questions. And if there are any questions, that you contact me and let me know, because I'd be happy to delve deeper into any of the things that I mentioned tonight.